Hello, my yarny friends. I thought that it would be fun to blend up a little art bat and then spin some yarn with it. So if that also sounds fun to you, then we're spending this whole video going through the whole process. Blend the art bat with me, pick out the colors, and spin it up. And we've got our finished yarn at the end in our big reveal.
Okay, I've got my blending board that I made with a cutting board and then some carding cloth, and I actually just super glued this to it. A lot of people will use a staple gun, but I just super glued it. I have this little, very cheap, like $1 or $2 kind of grooming brush for like a cat, and then I have my bag of scraps of fibers that I got on Etsy. And I used this for some rollags that I made on my blending board a while ago, and still got plenty to make in a bat. So let's get to choosing our colors. So the first thing we're gonna do is pick out our colors. And I do apologize for any dog noises in the background. I'm gonna try to edit out or avoid that as much as possible, but these guys are always around. So, hi Nolly. Hi baby, you're a good girl. So we're gonna pick out some colors, and this is one of my very favorite parts because I do love color. It's one of the reasons that I love fiber arts so much. I'm wanting this to be mostly a pink and yellow bat, but we might get some other kind of like accenty colors in here. Let's see. Okay, so here's what I've been able to get out of the bag. I just tried to pull every kind of pink tone and yellow tone that I could. Some of it is a little orangey pink. And then some of the yellows, like this really lovely like goldenrod yellow. I love that. But yeah, we've got lots of different pinks, and they're all different textures because this was kind of a scrap bag. Again, I got it off of Etsy. If you don't have your own scraps, then that could be a great way to make projects like this on a blending board. I don't know what that is. It might be merino, it might be silk. It feels a little squeaky in the fingers. And I've got these other kind of neutral ones. I love these logs. Those are really awesome. They're gonna add a great texture. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna use this brown. It's a golden brown, which is why I thought it might look nice with that. And as I see it in this light, I do kind of like it. But yeah, got different neutrals to kind of fluff it up and fill it out. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna add the chartreusey guy to it. It just adds like a super fun pop of dimension. It's fairly monochromatic like this. I mean fairly, like not obviously completely monochromatic because it's not just all shades of pink, but that does add like a little pop to it with that chartreuse. So we'll see. I do think it's kind of fun. But this is the fiber that I've picked out for my board. Let's get to blending. Okay, when using the blending board, you do have to be careful because these little tines are very sharp. I did already puncture myself. Don't know if you can see that. I'm not gonna show you super close up because if you don't like blood, then I don't wanna trigger you. But yes, so I just kind of grabbed this a moment ago and stabbed myself on it. So I mean, you can do this, like it's not a huge deal, but you do have to be careful because if you want it just the wrong angle, it will stab you. I wanna show you as well, you wanna have your little tines facing away from you. You can see they're not perfectly straight, they are bent, and so you want them to be facing away so that when you are painting with your fiber, it's catching on to the little tine that's facing away from you, and it makes it easier to pull it into the blending board. So I've got my fiber, I've got my little brush. Now to paint with some fiber. It does typically take two hands, one holding the fiber and the other pulling, but I don't have a little arm for my phone, so I have to use one hand for my phone and one hand for whatever else I'm doing. So once I've got my board fairly well loaded with this first little layer, I'm trying to get a fairly even kind of spread, but I can fill in these little gaps as I add layers. Now I'll brush with this. I'm gonna make sure the little tines are facing away, because if I brush like this, the way it's intended for grooming, like a cat or a dog, I'm gonna pull those fibers. But if I'm pushing that way, it's smoothing the fibers down into the board. Let's see if I can do it one-handed while holding the, so you can kind of see it like, well, that was a terrible example because I need both hands, but you can see it kind of pushes them in. I've got these over here pushed in already, and these I'll get to next. So my first layer is nicely pressed down in there, and I go down. So my tines are facing away from me, and I'm pressing down into the tines that are facing away from me. And it pushes everything into place. Now let's add some more fiber. Okay, I know that my blending board is full because some of these are not going down into the tines anymore. So it is very full. Let's see the layer of fiber there. So it's time to pull this off, and you can see I did not end up using all of my neutral yarns, but I did try to throw in some white here and there. I did throw the chartreuse in right at the end because I just thought I needed another little pop with all of those pinky tones. So let's pull this off. Okay, I've got my fluffy batt. Here is the last side that we did, and this is the first side that we did. This looks really beautiful and blendy and watercolory, and I'm excited to spin this up. So we're just gonna spin it as a batt. I might separate it into little like sections, but otherwise I'm just gonna spin it as a batt. I think this is really pretty to see the cross section part. You can kind of see all those layers kind of sandwiched in there, which is really fun, I think. It's very floofy. Yeah, I think this is gonna be lovely. I might make a tapestry, like a woven tapestry with this when it's spun up into yarn. I think I want to spin this as a 2-ply, so I am going to just split this batt right down the center here to get it into 2 fairly even halves, and then split those into smaller sections to make it easier to spin up. So half of this will go on one bobbin and the other half will go on a second bobbin, so that I can spin those 2 single-ply bobbins together to make a 2-ply yarn.